When was the last time you failed at something? You didn't expect that one, did you? Hi, I'm Kenny Kaufman, and welcome to the Career Corner. So I tend to have a different approach when it comes to interviewing and interview questions. I am a rule breaker. I don't ask the typical HR recruiting questions that you hear over and over again. Why is that? Because most of them are BS and have nothing to do with how you will perform in a job, right? For instance, so where do you see yourself in 10 years? I don't know. That's what I really want to say, and I'm sure that's what you want to say. I have no idea. I didn't see myself here 10 years ago. Or I don't even know where I'm going to be 10 months from now or 10 weeks from now. How am I going to know where I'm going to be 10 years from now? So another question that's typically asked is, what is your strength and what is your weakness? Who knows, right? That's a question that is always rehearsed. People tend to expect those two questions and they prepare those questions and they prepare the answers to those questions. I have actually coached people in how to answer those questions. Nope. I ask questions, number one, that are more situational. What are you going to do if, certain things happen? Or how have you done certain things? More things like I said, that are situational. But there are two questions that I always ask and that throw people a little bit. And here's my secret if you ever come across me in an interview. When was the last time you failed at something? And I ask that question because number one, like I said, you're not expecting it because no one has probably ever asked you that before. And I also ask because number two, I want to get a real answer. And, when I ask that question, when it comes up, the representative leaves. And what I mean is most people, they send their representative to an interview. But when you throw someone off with that honest question, you get an honest answer typically. Now, I have run into people who have actually told me that they don't fail at anything or they have never failed at anything, thinking that that's what I want to hear. I need an honest answer. And I also need to know if you are someone who's a leader, someone I can trust. Are you going to be honest? And that question really, really pulls honesty from you, from someone. I also ask, what is something that you're not good at? Something that you suck in? And that question I ask because I need to know what type of team I'm building. Where do you lack? Those of you who've ever coached with me, you guys know that one of the things I always say is that building a team is like building a 90s pop group. I compare it to TLC. What were some things that were unique about TLC? You had three people who did well together because they had different strengths. TLC depended on each other, and that's exactly how I need to build my teams. So if I'm asking you, where are some of the areas where you're not good in? I'm asking you that, number one, to see if you're going to give me a straight answer, an honest answer, like the failure question. But I also need to know, okay, great, you're not good in this area. That's fine. You're honest about it. But you're good in these other areas because other people on my team, you're going to balance my team out. Hope that makes sense. So something else, I want to go back to failure. Another reason why I ask people about their failures, it's because it also shows me where you need to grow as an individual. And that's great. I bring you on my team and I know where you need to grow because you have been honest about where your failures are. It's very similar to going to a gym. How many of you have gone to a gym and worked with a trainer? If you have, you know that, one of the things that trainers teach us is to exhaust your muscles, your weak muscles into failure. You work your muscles into failure. And then what happens when you come back the next week? Well, if you actually want to come back, I know you're sore, but if you want to come back, those muscles that collapsed, that failed the week prior, they start to become stronger. And so I need to know which muscle needs to become stronger. So that's why I need you to be very honest with those questions when you're interviewing or even on your jobs now. Some of you are looking to become promoted within your organization, and you never know who is looking at you. Your managers, your supervisors are looking to see, are you accountable? Are you acknowledging your failures? I know that this is new for some of you all because most people don't do this. Most people, they fail at something and they blame you. right? Yeah. Or they fail at something and they throw out so many different excuses as to why one thing happened and one thing didn't, as opposed to just saying, yes, I was late with that presentation. My apologies. I will make it up next time. Or I didn't get my numbers in on time. My apologies. I'm going to stay later, or I'm going to work a little bit later in order to get those things done. No, people don't do that. And so this is what I want to leave you with. Embrace your failures, own them, grow from them, learn from them. Honestly, I have failed at my career so much. I fail every day. I have failed in managing people. I have failed in being a mentor. I have failed in being a leader. And that has helped me in succeeding today. It is the reason why I'm able to coach you so that you don't make the same mistakes. I have failed in order for me to find success. That muscle has grown. I mean, I'm still working that muscle out, don't get me wrong, but it has strengthened and it has grown. And that's what I want for you. Always remember that. I remember interviewing this one young lady for a production manager. And I asked her the question, when was your last failure? And it took her a while. She sat and she thought. She didn't tell me she didn't have any failures, but she sat and she thought. And I told her, I'm like, look, I don't need a failure it's professional failure. Just give me one. And I waited and she thought. And she looked at me and she said, I failed at calling my grandmother. Man, that touched me. It's touching me now. It touched me because it was honest. And I saw and learned more from her with that statement and that honesty than I did throughout the entire interview. I'm Kenny Kaufman, and thank you so much for joining me at the Career Corner. Have a good day.